have your attention, we'll go ahead and get our meeting called to order. It is always good to see all these faces on a Monday afternoon here at City Hall. And I hope everyone's had a good weekend and a great Monday. We will be voting tonight. Tonight is what I call our regular council meeting. If you recall, on the first Monday of each month, we have our workshop meeting where we discuss the items that we'll be voting on this evening. So we do have agendas that are on the podium here. If anyone would like to grab one of those, you can certainly follow along with us, and we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. The first order of business is our prayer and pledge, and I'd like to call on our esteemed Fire Chief, Bobby Bennett, to offer our invocation, and then we'll stand for the pledge.
All right. Let us pray. Father God, thank you for today, and thank you for the many blessings of it, Lord. I just ask that you, Lord, that you just look after everyone in this room, Lord, that you look after our city leaders as they make decisions that affect the city and everyone that lives in it, God. I just ask that you bless the ones that's here, that show support for the city and the interest in what goes on in the day-to-day lives of everyone in Tifton. Lord, continue to bless Tifton and Tift County, God, as we all know that the world is in a hard place right now, God. We just ask for the blessings from you to help us make it through day to day. These and all the things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
If you will please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you doing that. All right, gentlemen, you have the agenda that Jessica has emailed out to us and to our media outlets. So unless there are any changes, I will take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. She also emailed to us the minutes from our last couple of meetings, and those are in your packet. So you've had a chance to review those, and I will take a motion concerning those minutes that have been submitted.
Make a motion.
You want everything approved? Okay.
Second.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We now are at the public comments portion of our agenda. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the public? Public that would like to address the council. I got that backwards, didn't I? We're going to address you. Everything's good? Okay. All right, thank you. All right. We always have openings available on many of the boards and authorities that the city appoints to, and I'm very pleased tonight to swear in a new member. Without the volunteerism of our citizens, we could not conduct the business of this city. We rely on our volunteers to serve in a variety of manners, from the Downtown Development Authority, Historic Preservation, Urban Redevelopment, Keep Tift Beautiful, and many other organizations within the city. And it's their volunteer and their service that allows our city to run the way that it does. So I'd like to ask Justin Golden to please stand, and Justin, I'll come join you down at the podium. All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right, and Justin, I'm just going to read you the oath of office, and when I complete that, if you'll just say I affirm or I do, and then it will be official, okay? I, Justin Golden, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties as a member of the Historic Preservation Commission of this city, and that I will support and defend the Charter of the City of Tifton, as well as the Constitution and laws of the State of Georgia and of the United States of America. I shall attend all meetings of the body to which I have been appointed unless providentially hindered. I shall abide by the standards for conflicts of interest, my glasses are sliding, adopted by the Tifton City Council and the rules of disclosure applicable thereto. Unless disqualified by the standards for conflicts of interest, I shall actively participate in all decisions of the body to which I have been appointed, and I shall attend at city expense any training mandated by the state of Georgia. I shall also attend as scheduled any special training arranged by the city of Tifton. Do you affirm? Congratulations. You are a member of the Tifton Historic Preservation Commission. Okay, Jeff, I'll let you go ahead and do the awarding of the scholarship, so I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mary. I have the honor of presenting this year's James E. Dove Memorial Scholarships. We had several very good candidates. City manager, myself, and the gas department employees went through every one of them and made the selections. Mr. Dove worked for the city for 27 years, from 1959 to 1986, and without him, we probably wouldn't have the gas system we've got now. He was very instrumental in building and looking at better ways to have gas in the city of Tifton, not only for our residential customers, but commercial. So very proud of that, and it's a great honor to win this scholarship. Mr. Ernest Dove is here, and I would like him to help me present the scholarships. Our first scholarship is a young lady, Krishawn Chappelle. Will you come on up? I looked real close at her application, and she plans to major in political science, international relations, and she wants to attend law school, and she wants to practice international law. So I was very impressed with that. Great grades. Both candidates, come on this side, I don't care where everybody can see. I'm sorry. Both candidates wrote very good essays, and they were very similar on the cleanliness of gas and how good it was to have it in emergency situations. And they both talked about in Texas this past year, all the people without power. Well, all those people that had natural gas still could cook, and they still had heat. So that's another good reason for having gas. So Krishawn, thank you very much. And thank you. Would you like to say?
Well, first, I would just like to say thank you all for having me here today. You know, I was very surprised whenever I got the scholarship, because honestly, I didn't really think that, I felt like maybe what I wrote wasn't all that good, but I am very glad that I got it, because now I can pay my enrollment fee for Mercer. Thank you all very much, and you know, go natural gas.
Okay, our second recipient is John Altman. You come up. Like I said, both of them's essays were very impressive. They both talked about natural gas, the cleanliness, and all the good uses of it. John plans to become a certified plant pathologist. I had to read up a little bit. I think it's very interesting, and he wants to work here or with UGA, and I thought that was very commendable. But great job, and congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Would you like?
I just want to thank y'all for letting me come out. I really appreciate the money, and this will definitely help me as I get into college. So I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Thank y'all.
Yes, I thank the city of Tifton for doing this every year. In my daddy's name. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Ernest, for being here. It's an honor for us to be able to present this in your father's name. He was a very important part of this community and very important part of the city of Tifton. And we're just very thankful for his public service and for the work that he did on our gas system. And as a result of that, we are all the beneficiaries. So thank you for being here with us each year and sharing in that. To our recipients, congratulations. I'm very, very proud of both of you. Expect great things. I know that we'll be in good hands, and I just wish you nothing but success as you move on to the next level of your education. And just remember the city of Tifton. So, so excellent. Good job, guys. So thank you for that. All right, gentlemen, we now have, we are at the consent agenda portion of our agenda. And again, these are items that we have already discussed in our workshop. We can take these individually, or we can take all three of the items on the consent agenda together. So I'll leave it up to your pleasure.
I move we approve all three of them together.
Okay, all right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion on the consent agenda items? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the next item is a resolution establishing decorum for city council meetings. And remember, we talked about that. That was just to sort of set the tone and the pace for not only our interaction with each other to be on a very professional level and very courteous level, but also how we interact with the public and how the public interacts with the council. So Rob has put together the decorum for city council meetings. We've had a chance to review that. Is there anything, Rob, we need to know, any changes or amendments or anything?
No, Mayor, I just think that this is just reiterating what I think is our general practice and what we'd like to
Right.
see the council, how council should be conducted.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So you've got a copy of the resolution in your packet, and again, we talked about it at the workshop, so I will take a motion concerning that resolution.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Johnny. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the next item is a resolution updating our schedule of fees, and that schedule of fees is also in your packet. We've talked about this for some time. Pete, is there anything, or Jessica, anything we need to, any changes we need to know about? Is everything pretty much the same?
What is included is for the special event permit,
Mm-hmm.
and the changes for alcohol, that we, mainly the permit that was.
Okay. All right,
They should be highlighted on your.
they are, yeah, it's highlighted in our packet. All right, so I will take a motion concerning updating the schedule of fees for the city.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the last item under resolutions is a resolution approving the recycling facility lease agreement with Ryland Environmental. Pete, you want to go over that real quick and
I will, Mayor,
point
thank
out
you.
anything?
Thanks. We talked pretty much with everybody today, and this is, I had to put this on the agenda. Ryland has expressed interest in leasing what's known as the recycling building, which our previous hauler was in. This will be for storage of containers and parking of trucks. Right now, it's sporadic. Some of the containers are on Carpenter Road. Trucks are at Public Works. Some are at the landfill. So this would occupy a building. It's $850 a lease, and this would be for the city and the county. So we both own that. So it is just rent to put someone back into that facility. So there was an expectation that Ryland needed to find a place, and they looked at this. Ricky talked with them a couple of times, and it fits their needs very nicely. So it's for your consideration.
Okay.
When, do you know when they'll be moving those, the recycled containers off of the Carpenter Road site?
Well, based off of when this was approved, and I'm going to send it to the county manager who signed it last time, so I'd like to expedite it, in the next, week and a half if possible.
Can we get them moved, push them to get them moved by the end of the month? That'd be great.
I
We could.
think that's possible.
What about the potential commercial recycling? I know we said we wanted to kind of let the dust settle with, just getting the new services established before we started with commercial recycling. Several people are still very interested in that, so.
I think that is very forthcoming in the near future, and I think this building would allow, and this was designed for, is to put cardboard
Right.
and bale it and ship it out. So this would work very nicely for the commercial collection program. So once we get them in there, that's the next step, is to identify when they could start that program for us.
Okay, excellent.
Hi, Pete. Making sure I heard you right. Does the county has ownership in this building?
We jointly own it.
All right. All right, so we're going to be receiving rents from Ryland? Would we need to
Yes.
split the rents with the county?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, just like we did last time.
okay.
Same amount, it's the same agreement, nothing has changed except names.
Okay. And you've got a copy of that lease agreement and everything? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Pete, we probably, in Article 2, number 3, it references First Community Bank, which I don't know that I don't think they're called that anymore, so we probably need to change it to whatever
Good call.
their current name is, Synovus or something like that.
Okay, you got that right?
Yeah.
All right, any other changes or questions concerning the lease? Okay. I'll take a motion concerning that lease, if you don't mind. I can't make a motion. So, make a motion.
Second.
Okay, there we go. So we have a motion and a second for the lease with Ryland, and any further discussion, and like Pete said, he'll be contacting our county administrator to share that information with him in the morning. All right, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. The last thing we have on the agenda before we just get to reports and everything is the ordinance providing amendments to the alcoholic beverage ordinance. Jessica and Rob have worked on that, and that's in your packet. Rob, anything you need to share with us on that?
Yes, this has been a work in progress, and what we have been trying to do is enable what we call recreational facilities to serve alcohol and still have people who are under 21 go into those establishments. So we look to amend Section 6-30.1 for presence of persons of not legal age. And what we did, we added paragraphs 3, 4, 5, and 6. Paragraph 3 says in recreational facilities, including but not limited to bowling alleys, billiard parlors, skating facilities, golf course clubhouses, and other similar family-oriented establishments where the majority of the establishment's annual gross revenue is derived from fees obtained in furtherance of the recreational activities. So basically, if you have, there is this hatchet throwing idea. So this would allow people under the age of 21 to go into that facility so long as the majority of the revenue is derived from the fees derived from the entertainment. This is pretty much, very similar to what Savannah has. And I thought that it was appropriate because it's not trying to pigeonhole any particular type of recreational activity, but something that is similar to these. And again, you have that threshold of the majority of your fees have to be derived from the recreational activity. The other thing that we've added is paragraph 4 has to do with growlers. As you all recall, establishments can sell growlers and you can have tasting of growlers, so we included that. Also in hotels, motels, inns, and auditoriums, athletic facilities, and in other locations where alcohol is dispensed pursuant to an event permit. So that was the idea about how we can get these recreational facilities and have people under the 21 go in with some type of threshold as far as how their income is derived. So when we changed that, we changed the definition of a bar in order to make that more consistent with what we were doing to include recreational facilities. The other thing that we looked at is had the idea that some people want to provide complimentary service, in their establishments. So I included complimentary service in the definitional part of the ordinance, which does allow you to serve alcohol in your establishment as a gratuity. It establishes a time limit on Sunday. It establishes the maximum amount of a pour. And one of the things that Jessica and I had talked about, again, this is very similar to Savannah, the the limit on an individual pour for malt beverages is 8 fluid ounces. Now, that's what they have in Savannah. Jessica brought to my attention that some of these hotels have a hospitality time. Sometimes they'll probably pour the wine, but they'll probably give you a bottle of beer, and that's going to be 12 ounces. So I don't have any problem with the 12-ounce idea if they're going to be serving a bottle of beer. So if it's, I would propose to change that 8 to 12.
Okay. All right, does anyone have any issue with that? That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
The next thing that we addressed is the classification of licenses. We did go ahead and add a license for a complimentary service license. And the other thing that we did had to do with the qualifications for a licensee, which included a legal permanent resident. You just didn't have to be an American, United States citizen. The other thing that we did when it came down to the investigations and the approval of alcohol licenses, Councilman Ellis brought this up. What this basically does is gives the duty to, we still have the same inspection and investigation by the Department of Community Development, also by the city police, in order to determine, their qualifications, and they make that investigative report back to the city manager. The city manager then has the authority to approve that license or deny that license. If the city manager approves it, that's fine, then the clerk issues the license. If he denies it, then that applicant has the right to appeal that decision to city council for a hearing. Then also, when you got the other sections that deal with that issue are on the renewals. Again, on the renewals, approval or denial will be with the city manager with the right to appeal, or the city manager, should he feel it necessary, just can refer that application for renewal to city council. Generally, if the owners haven't changed, the managers haven't changed, there's not been any violations, that's approved, that's done administratively. If there's some issues that arose during that year that you got to take a closer look, again, if Pete decides he wants to approve it or deny it, he can, or if he wants to refer to city council for their consideration, he can do that. And again, if it's denied or referred, then you have that right to a hearing. The next thing that we brought up had to do with wineries. We've also, we've included a definition of wine tasting. Basically, what the state of Georgia allows is wineries can have tasting rooms, and they can have as many as 5 other locations in the state for their tasting rooms. And basically, you have to get licensed by the state in order to have, these tasting rooms. So what we're providing here is basically saying, okay, under the rules of the Department of Revenue, you can have, you can have a tasting room here in Tifton. You don't have to have an alcohol license to have a tasting room, but it does provide that if you're going, and you can provide those tastings as a gratuity for free. But if you want to sell your tastings, then you have to get an on-premise license. If you want to sell, bottles of wine, then you're going to have to get a retail license. So that's really all that says. And we did away with the amenity permit since we went with the complimentary service idea. So I think that covers everything.
That's up to page 9 and following the order of things. So.
This has been there's been a lot of Abby. I appreciate Abby and Jessica's input. We've looked at a lot of different things, and hopefully this will work.
Very good. All right, gentlemen, do y'all have any questions, comments? Does everything sound
Sounds good to me.
acceptable?
Sounds good.
And I'd like to also express appreciation to Jessica and Abby for your assistance in putting this document together. So All right, we'll take a motion concerning the ordinance for the amendments to the alcoholic beverage license.
So moved.
Council, we were workshopping this, since we have not presented it yet.
Oh, okay, so we're
for your
not going to vote on it
consideration.
this evening?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do
Okay.
tonight was just kind of bring it forward, let y'all
Gotcha.
hear it,
Okay.
and then, we'll be ready to move forward with it
Okay,
at our next
all right,
meeting.
so I withdraw the, no motions, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we've been talking about it for so long,
I know.
so, okay, all right, but thank you, ladies, for helping Rob with that, we appreciate that. Were you going to ask a question, Jack?
Well, yeah, do we have to wait?
Yes.
Oh, we do? Oh, okay.
So, there you go.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise,
Can we
surprise.
amend the agenda? I'm just curious.
All right, I'm gonna just switch the little order of things under other business. Our next item is the city manager report, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the board report, and then we'll do the city manager report and mayor and council comments. And we will need a short period for executive session for legal matters. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, so that won't take long. But you see in your packet there, we have the Urban Redevelopment Agency has 2 vacancies, and per our new policy for reappointing or appointing board members, the URA board has recommended reappointing Tyler Riddle and Bobby Campbell to fill 3-year terms each. So if you'd like to go ahead and approve those 2 applicants, we can, since they have those openings and they have approved them for us. So that's in your packet. So I'll take a motion to that effect.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Is there a second? Second, thank you, Johnny. Any further? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of those 2 individuals being reappointed, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, and now, Pete, if you want to jump in with your city manager report.
Okay, I will call on Dana to provide the financial update, and then I have one item to share with you.
Okay. And while she's handing those out, I'd like to take just a second to thank our County Commission Chair, Mr. Tony McBrayer, for being here. Tony, it's always nice to see you and appreciate you being here with us this evening. And also would like to thank Bobby Pointevent with WAOB, Hayward Fowler with the Fun Channel, and Billy Malone with the Tifton Gazette. So the role of the media for the public to not only provide information, but to be the watchdog of the public is very important. So thank you, gentlemen, for filling that role and being with us tonight to share the information with not only our constituents, but your viewers and readers from other areas. So we appreciate that very much. All right, Dana?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This worksheets I just gave you, financial sheets for as of March. Everything looks really good. I'm not going to brag too much, but
Well, why not? You should.
well, this time last year when we set the budget, we didn't know what was going to happen with everything going on. So I think we've really done really great. General fund is ahead on revenues at 13%. And the expense side, we're actually below 6%, which is good.
On that one, Dana, and I know I asked last time and I've slept since then, so I've forgotten what the answer was, but urban redevelopment expenses, those gonna come back
Yes,
in line by the end
yes.
of the?
We'll go in and take out the demo invoices and SPLOS. We can get reimbursed from that from SPLOS.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the water fund and sewer fund on the next page is doing good also. Water's at 77%. We've collected in revenues, and expenditures right now is only 47%, which is good. But I'm sure we'll have some more expenditures than that for the years out. Sewer fund's doing good also. We're ahead. We should be at 75%, but we're collected revenue at 84%. And expenditures are at 72% instead of 75, where we should be. Okay, the next page is your gas fund and landfill fund. The gas fund is right on schedule. We haven't had a cold year, but we have made enough, so we're in line right now at 75%. Our expenditures are only at 62%.
What's the gas fund sales tax due to the state is considerably over
We have to charge sales tax,
budget.
and that's the expense account we have to pay the state back.
But you have to pay sales tax on what we're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Except what we're selling is in line with the budget, and the sales tax is way above, so shouldn't they,
Well,
I would expect them to kind of go in tandem
Track together,
there.
yeah.
yeah,
If one, so check that. and let
I
me know.
will. I'll make sure. Okay, landfill, their revenues collected are at 77%, and their expenditures are at 58%, which is good for March. The next page is our local option sales tax. It's your 10-year history, and I've updated the 2021 from the month of March collections. And right now, we're actually 85%, so we're a little ahead of schedule, which is good. Okay, the next page is your hotel motel. I wish I could say they were as good, but they've had a bad year, which has started the last part of 20. But we are coming back up, which is a good sign. And the total amount collected for March was $108,290, which puts us at 52% in collections.
Help, because I know tourism relies heavily on that. Were we able to use any CARES Act money?
Not as of yet. We talked about that in the retreat some, but as we zero in on the fourth quarter, I think that's something that we need to consider while we do the budget. Speaking of budget, we're on track for that, so it needs to be a topic that we need to probably explore. The numbers are in line as we start getting back to somewhat normal. People are still traveling, and we're seeing a boost, but it's going to be too much too late. And so I have not talked to the tourism board for months yet, so we need to probably bring that around and discuss it.
Does anyone?
Looking at the increase was like, for the notes here, we're supposed to take effect in November. So if you look at December, January, they're all below what we did in 2019, 2020 during the middle of the crisis with only 5% versus 7%. So that's tell you the story is that those folks are still hurting. They're still seeing the struggle. So hopefully when this pandemic comes to an end, heads and beds, and we start having our events here in Tifton, these guys can get back on
I will say, I did speak with one of the hotel owners last week about a different issue. We weren't talking necessarily about hotel motel tax, but it came up in the conversation, and they said they are seeing more regular rate room bookings happening. So they were very optimistic about the future, so.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, any more questions?
Everybody good? It's a very thorough report, Dana. Thank you so much. It makes it easy to see
It
in
does.
this format. It really is so much easier to follow and to track. So thank you for providing that to us.
You're
Any
welcome.
questions of any of the information Dana's provided?
Good.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. All right, Pete, what else you got?
Just letting everybody know that the Second Street resurfacing project is really underway. You're going to start seeing a lot of signs, but that contractor is in place and mobilized. They're going to start at the Highway 82 section of Second Street, and they're coming all the way through, all the way out to 75. So a lot of activity. There'll be milling, resurfacing, and there'll be a lot of traffic redirected for sometimes. When they get towards downtown, they're going to be working at night, so they do not interrupt any patterns, but may keep some people up in the middle of the night. So just be looking for
sleeping right up above Second.
flashing lights and a lot of equipment, but it's going to take that for the coordination. So Public Works and DOT are in constant communication, but it's a huge project for us. And just as a reminder, this is a T-SPLOST project, and we have upgraded all the old water connections underneath Second Street. So we really did it right again, but this will be super for Tifton as we go forward. So a lot of activity on Second Street, so be looking for that.
Good.
That's all I have.
Okay, all right. All right, gentlemen, mayor and council comments. Does anybody want to volunteer to lead us off?
Well, I'll lead us off.
Okay.
Everything's going great. I really don't have anything to say.
Well, we all want to compliment you on your haircut.
Oh, well, thank you. I did lose 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds. She could make 3 wigs out of what they cut off, and it was a beautiful shade of gray.
Okay, well, very good. Well, it looks very nice.
Thank you. With that, we'll move to somebody else.
Okay. Wes?
I'm good tonight.
Okay. Johnny? You good? All right, MJ?
I'm good as well.
Good. Okay. I just want to remind people, if you have not gotten your vaccine yet, please, please, please get scheduled for your vaccine. I had my first one about 2 weeks ago. I'll go for my second one next week, and it was painless, just a little sore at the injection site, and so it's the only way we're going to get through this, and continue to be diligent. We're not out of the woods yet, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So just, if you have not, I happen to go to the Tift County Health Department to have mine. I know, Jack, that's where you went. They could not have been nicer and more helpful. I know Southwell also is offering the vaccine, as are several of our retail sites around town. So wherever you go, just go and get that vaccine. All right, we will need to, that concludes our meeting, and we'll adjourn this meeting, but we do need to go into executive session, so I'll need a motion to do so for legal matters. Motion. All right, is there a second? Johnny, second, okay. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll take a little break, and then we'll